Let's be honest, most people don't even notice dimes anymore. They're so small, they slip through our fingers, hide in couch cushions, or end up forgotten at the bottom of a pocket. If you got a dime from 1998 in your change today, chances are you wouldn't even glance at it. You'd toss it in a jar or feed it into a vending machine without a second thought. But here's the twist, some 1998 dimes are worth far more than 10 cents. In fact, depending on condition and minting mistakes, they can be worth hundreds of dollars, and in rare cases, even thousands. And almost no one outside the collector world realizes it. So, what makes 1998 special? On the surface, nothing at all. It was an ordinary year. Bill Clinton was president, Titanic had just swept the Oscars, and the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for over 50 years. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins with little fanfare. Yet tucked within that massive production run are a few treasures. Let's start with the basics. 3 versions of the dime were made in 1998, from Philadelphia with no mint mark, from Denver with a D, and proofs from San Francisco with an S. Philadelphia struck about 1.2 billion. Denver struck slightly more, about 1.1 billion. And San Francisco produced a little over 2 million proofs. With numbers like that, it's no wonder people assume 1998 dimes are common. But as always, the details matter. Condition is the first big factor. Circulated 1998 dimes, those that have wear, scratches, or dull luster, are worth face value. But mint state coins, especially at the very top end of the grading scale, become valuable. A regular 1998 P dime in MS-68, for example, has sold for over $300 at auction. Why? Because out of more than a billion struck, very few survived without even the tiniest flaw. The same is true for the 1998 D. In MS-68, one has sold for more than $400. It sounds surprising, but it comes down to scarcity of perfection. Collectors chasing registry sets, those competitive collections where every coin must be the absolute best, are willing to pay huge premiums for these top examples. Now, proofs from San Francisco are a different story. Most 1998 S dimes are shiny and sharp, but collectors don't just want any proof, they want the absolute finest, with deep cameo contrast. That means frosted devices standing out against mirror-like fields. A flawless PR70 Deep Cameo 1998 S dime can sell for $100 to $200. Not bad for a coin most people ignore. But condition isn't where the real excitement lies. The real stories of 1998 dimes are the errors. And this is where things get fascinating. One of the most dramatic is the off-center strike. Imagine a dime where Roosevelt's head is pushed far to the side, leaving part of the coin blank. These range in value depending on how far off-center the strike is. A small shift might be worth $40. A big, dramatic 50% off-center strike with the full date visible can reach $200 or more. Then there are double dies. On some 1998 dimes, careful collectors have spotted doubling on the motto, "In God We Trust," or on the date. These double dies are rare, and when confirmed, they easily fetch hundreds of dollars. Another exciting type is the strike-through error. This happens when debris, like grease, wire, or a fragment of metal, gets between the die and the coin during striking. A Roosevelt dime missing half its design, or with strange impressions across the surface, isn't damaged after the fact, it's an authentic mint error. Collectors love these one-of-a-kind mistakes, and values can range from $50 to several hundred depending on how dramatic the strike-through is. Clipped planchets are another standout. A clipped planchet dime looks as if someone took a bite out of the coin's edge. It happens when the blanking machine cuts out coin planchets that overlap. A 1998 dime with a clean curved clip is instantly collectible. Prices usually start around $40 and can go much higher for larger, dramatic clips. But one of the most valuable errors for 1998 is the wrong planchet strike. Every so often, a dime was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another coin. A famous example is the 1998 dime struck on a cent planchet. Because a cent planchet is copper-colored and slightly larger, the dime design looks incomplete, squashed, and very strange. These spectacular mint errors have sold for thousands at major auctions. And here's where things get even more intriguing. Some 1998 proof dimes from San Francisco were struck on experimental planchets. One rare variety was made with a matte finish instead of the usual mirror-like proof surface. These special matte proofs are extremely scarce because they were only made in very limited numbers for special collector sets. Today, they can sell for several $100s, even into the thousands depending on condition. Now, let's imagine how one of these could slip through your hands unnoticed. Say you're rolling up change from an old jar, and among the pile is a shiny 1998 dime. It looks a little sharper than the rest. Maybe it has an unusual sheen, or maybe the date looks doubled under magnification. You might not think twice about it, but if you stopped and took a closer look, you could be staring at a coin worth 100, 200, or even 500 times its face value. This is why collectors always stress, never overlook the modern coins. Just because something isn't old or silver doesn't mean it isn't rare. The 1998 dime proves that. So how do you know if your dime is valuable? Start by checking the condition. A coin should have no wear, no scratches, and strong luster to be considered mint state. Anything graded MS67 or higher has real value. Next, inspect for errors. Off-center strikes are visible to the naked eye. Doubling requires magnification, but it's worth checking the date and lettering carefully. Strike-throughs and clips can be spotted just by examining the edges and surface. Finally, weigh the coin if something looks odd. A normal dime weighs 2.27 grams. If yours is noticeably heavier or lighter, it might be an off-metal strike. That's where the big money lies. And, of course, professional authentication is the final step. PCGS or NGC certification confirms that your dime is genuine, gives it an official grade, and makes it far more attractive to serious buyers. Auction results show just how high collectors will go. A flawless MS68 1998 D dime sold for over $400. A 1998 P in the same grade hit $300. Proofs in perfect PR70 Deep Cameo have sold for close to $200. And wrong planchet and experimental strikes from 1998 have reached into the thousands. Those aren't everyday coins, but they prove the potential. But beyond the dollars, the 1998 dime carries another kind of value. It's a reminder that coins are more than pocket change. They're tiny time capsules. A dime from 1998 might have been used at a payphone, fed into a soda machine, or dropped in a child's piggy bank at the end of the millennium. Now, 25 years later, it's easy to dismiss it as too new to matter. But the rare ones, the errors, the flawless survivors, tell a richer story. Every coin has a chance to surprise us. And sometimes, the biggest surprises come from the coins we least expect. So the next time a 1998 dime passes through your hands, don't just spend it. Hold it up to the light. Check the edges. Look at the details. Because hidden among the billions are the rare survivors, the mistakes, and the treasures. And one of those little coins could be the one that changes how you see pocket change forever.